Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney, and for today's video we are going to be doing a beginner friendly makeup starter pack. So this is going to be for anybody who just feels so overwhelmed by what to buy. Maybe you've gotten to makeup TikTok and you want to try to glam, but you don't really know where to start. You don't know what products are good for you. You don't really know how to begin. I will be giving my recommendations on what I think you should get just to start out your makeup collection and to really test out different products and start seeing what you like and see like maybe the formulas that you may love. So I'm going to try to be as informative as possible when I'm going through with these products to help you, and I'm going to try to do it in more beginner friendly terms. So if you are a makeup expert, maybe this is not going to be the video for you unless you just want to hear me talk about makeup. If that sounds like something you would like, then definitely keep on watching. I'm going to be going in order of application, at least for me, and how I do my makeup. You are free to do your makeup however you choose. Makeup is also an art form, not just a practicality. I have come to terms with that. I love the creative aspect of makeup just as much as I love, you know, getting ready for work in the morning and making myself look a little bit glam. It has helped me build my confidence, and I hope to help y'all also feel confident when applying makeup and hopefully get y'all feeling really great. That's the goal here, so hopefully we can get y'all to the point where you feel really comfortable with makeup and products and things like that. Alright, so first step of my makeup routine is skin prep and priming the skin. So the reason that I lumped these two together is because especially when you're a beginner in makeup, you do not have to really get separate products to do that. Basically, a primer and skincare is basically the same thing. Skincare, I would not recommend just diving into like a 10-step skincare regimen, especially if you don't know much about your skin. So I would start little by little introducing different products to your skin and seeing how it reacts. So I'm going to give you some product options that I think are great, kind of like all-in-one things that I use to prime and have the skincare benefits. I've talked about this one at length, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Maybe you guys would like to hear more about this one. So this is from Peach Slices, and this is the Snail Rescue All-in-One Oil-Free Moisturizer. Now this one, if you've ever heard of the Snail Mucin products that were all over TikTok for a time, I did not like the COSRX one that was like really top trending. I felt like, I don't know, it was a little expensive and I didn't really see a lot from it. Really, it wasn't my favorite. I was actually recommended this by an Ulta employee, and she said that if you have sensitive skin, you might want to try this brand and this line in particular because it is better for like sensitive skin. Some people had reactions to the other one. So I took her advice, and oh my gosh, was it the best thing ever, because I fell in love with this product and this brand in general. But this is like my holy grail all-in-one moisturizing product. It is great for all seasons. It is a gel moisturizer, so it kind of has like, and it's not too rich where I can't wear it in the summertime. It won't make me overly oily if I wear it in the summertime, but it still will give me all the moisture that my skin needs. I forgot to say this in the beginning. I am a dry-skinned girl, so a lot of these products are geared towards more dry skin. I'm going to try to include some that are more for oily skin, but especially in this category, I don't have as many suggestions as for oily skin, just because primer and skincare is something that is very dependent on your skin type. So this one is more of like, I put this on, I put an eye cream on, and then I can just go into my makeup, or I can put another primer on top. So skincare can be your primer, and especially when you're a beginner, you don't want to be buying a million products, so something like this will work really, really well. If you do find that you need something a little bit more rich than this, however, then I would recommend this one. This is from Embryolisse. I got this on Amazon. You could probably get it other places, but this one is actually something that was recommended in the makeup artist courses that I took. If you're ever curious about those, I have videos on my channel. I have a playlist dedicated to those. I did take online courses about becoming a makeup artist, And yeah, I got a lot of great information from that. If you're interested in that, I will put that in the description box as well. But this one was highly recommended by the makeup artists who were teaching the course, and they said it is great for all skin types, not just dry skin, but it is really, really hydrating and gives a great base to your skin. I have actually found that this is pretty rich. So even for my dry skin, this works wonderfully. It doesn't really make me overly oily, which is great. But again, I have dry skin. If you are oily skinned, this one might not be for you. The gel moisturizer might be your better option. But this one, if you're a dry skinned person, this one is so, so good. Winter especially, you need something a little bit more hydrating, and this does the trick. It is not super, super expensive, and this is the travel size. They do have a bigger one, but please start out small. If they have a mini of a skincare item, buy the mini, see if you like it, and then invest in the bigger one. That's my best piece of advice for any makeup in general and skincare in general, especially the complexion products that you're going to be like putting all over your skin and have like skincare ingredients. Don't want you breaking out if you happen to be allergic to a product. So those were those two skincare kind of primers that I wanted to recommend. And the next three are like true primers. This one's kind of a hybrid, so I'll talk about this one next. This is from e.l.f. and this is their e.l.f. skin line. This is the Whoa Glow Broad Spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. And this is in the shade Sunlight. The reasons they have different shades is because for sunscreens, you don't want a white cast, and they actually like cracked the code. So there's a bunch of different shades in the sunscreen, but it adds a nice glow to your skin, almost with like a sheen, kind of like a highlighter, but a very, very sheer one. This one is incredible if you want the SPF and your makeup primer. So it is both all in one, sun protection and primer. This is a fantastic one to kind of dip your toes into the SPF world and the makeup world. Plus, I would highly recommend SPF to everyone. If you're like super, super young, you might not need it yet. But, you know, even when you go to the beach, you still need sunscreen. So actually, I take that back. Pretty much everybody needs some kind of SPF in their life. And this one would be a great one if you're a beginner. Affordable price tag, impeccable product. I have repurchased this so many times and loved it. And as a very, very pale girl, I can say that this has protected my face so many times. It's crazy. And I love it. I will keep repurchasing it. This one, I would scream from the rooftops. Definitely try this one if you're looking for an affordable SPF and makeup primer. It does a great job of prepping your skin for makeup as well. So it definitely does both really well. For those of you who want that grippy, tacky primer, I will recommend the e.l.f. Grip Primer. I will pop it up on the screen right here because I decluttered mine. But if you want that super sticky primer and you wanted to try it, this one is very affordable and it does the job. I would not say to splurge on the Milk one. I've tried both of them and they both work pretty much the same. So definitely save your coin on that. Try the e.l.f. one. The niacinamide one I did like more than the regular blue one. So it just kind of depends on how you're feeling, like which one you want. The niacinamide one is intended to have more of a hydration benefit. I did not find that it was anything like major. It's not intended to be a hydrating product. So kind of take your pick with that one. I like the aesthetic of the pink one, so I went with that. But yeah, these are great if you are more on the oily skin and you feel like you need something to help with the longevity of your makeup throughout the day and you're afraid like the oiliness to your skin is going to make your makeup fall off. Those are really good at improving that longevity on a budget. For us dry skin girlies who need a little bit of a hydration, but also maybe want a little blur. If you have oily skin, I'm pretty sure you can use this one too. I just don't know firsthand. This is the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I love this. This is the mini, like deluxe sample. I did have the full size in this and I used it up completely. Love it. It smells like sweet vanilla. I would not say it smells like marshmallows totally. It just smells like vanilla to me. But it is not an offensive scent. I usually do not like fragrance in my makeup and skincare, but this one I don't mind at all. It's very light. It has a very nice kind of whipped texture to it that I really enjoy. It really just preps the skin beautifully for makeup. And if you want the added blurring benefit, this is great. This is not a true blurring primer. There are like silicone based primers out there. from Tarte and other places, the e.l.f. Putty Primer, that if you have larger pores and you just want to help with those, then those might be a good one to try. I did not find that I loved them that much. This one is kind of like right in the middle. It works for me. So there are options out there. Definitely look it up if that is you. If that is you. But this one is one of my favorite primers. Drugstore versus luxury. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, this is one of my favorite primers. So yeah, that one is great. Skincare is really hard for me to give like a really in-depth thing for this video. I would be talking forever because about different skin types and, you know, different everything with skincare. There's a million categories. The one other thing I will say about skincare is you may want an eye cream if you have dry skin. This one is the one I have. This one is discontinued, sadly, and it makes me so upset. I have ordered a few new eye creams to try, so I will let you know how that goes, because obviously I don't want to keep recommending one that's discontinued. But what I look for in an eye cream is something that is hydrating, but not too rich, where it's going to like be too thick under my eyes and cause milia and things like that. But this one is a perfect blend of those things. I'm not going to talk about this a lot again since it's discontinued, but I would definitely recommend getting an eye cream. I just ordered one from The Ordinary, so I'll be putting that to the test. There's a lot at the drugstore. Be on the lookout, watch reviews, but an eye cream will just allow your makeup, especially your concealer, to lay beautifully, and if you have like fine lines and stuff, it will help with that too. Dark circles, you might want a color correcting eye cream, but you can also fix that with concealer. All right, next up, we're going to talk about foundations. Kind of similar to skincare, this one is a big category. There's a lot to talk about. Sometimes certain foundations don't work with certain primers. That's also something I can't get into as much in this video because it would take a while to actually explain all of that, but I will leave you with this. If it is a water-based foundation, pair it with a water-based primer. And if it's a silicone-based foundation, pair it with a silicone primer. And you might not know what that means or how to see if something is a water-based or a silicone-based, but this is what Google is for. Google, if you have a product that you want to try, type into Google, is this product water-based or is it silicone-based? You should find the answer and just make sure that you are pairing silicone and water and water. That's all I will leave it at for this video. But if you don't want your makeup to pill because it's like paired with the wrong primer, then definitely try to look those things up before you apply it. I have 3 different types of foundations that I'm going to recommend to a makeup beginner. So I have a skin tint, I have a regular foundation, like a liquid foundation, and I have a stick foundation. First up, this one, if you are dry skinned, I would say this one is like the most hydrating of the 3 that I'm going to be recommending, but it also has the lowest amount of coverage. Well, kind of. Yeah, I would say it has the lowest. I don't know. Does it? Who knows? This one actually has a fair amount of coverage. This is the Wet n Wild Niacinamide Skin Tint, and this one has hyaluronic acid, peony extract, and this is in shade Fair. This says it's a 24-hour hydration, and boy, they weren't lying. This is probably the best skin tint that I have tried ever, and it's like $5 or $6. It's great. The only thing I will say is the stores that I went to, they did not have a big shade range in store. I would recommend buying it through Wet n Wild's website. I know. I wish they sold it at Ulta or Target. They might sell it at Target eventually, but at my Target they didn't. But I found this at a Walgreens, but if you can't find your shade in store, definitely get it from the website because holy moly, this is so affordable and what an incredible product. This has a dropper and this has such a nice like buildable coverage. It is so nice. So this is kind of a liquidy consistency, which is actually really great for a beginner because you can really like take your time blending it out. Now, how to apply foundation, you can use a sponge, you can use a brush, you can use your fingers. It's just kind of a preference thing. I would not recommend using your fingers because that's kind of gross to me. I mean, even if you're washing your hands, there's a lot of bacteria around, and if you have acne prone skin, I just wouldn't recommend that in general. But hey, sometimes you can get away with using your fingers for certain things. I would recommend using a brush. Now, this is more of an expensive option. There are options at Target and at Ulta from the drugstore that are cheaper. But this one is what I use, and I will say it is shedding quite a bit. I don't know, has anybody ever heard about It Cosmetics having shedding problems? Because I thought that this was like a brand that wasn't supposed to shed and it was supposed to hold up for a really long time. It's held up for a few years, but I was not expecting it to shed this much. This is from It Cosmetics, and it is a dual-ended brush, and this I would definitely recommend to someone who's starting out with makeup, even if it is a little bit more of a splurge item, just because having the right tools makes the products work even better for you. It's a lot easier to use them with the proper tools. As you get more experience with makeup, sometimes you can kind of figure out like, oh, I can make a product work for me pretty well. If you're a beginner with makeup, this will help you out. So this smaller brush on this side has a little bit of a domed top. It is gross. I'm sorry, I need to clean it because I just used it today. But it has a domed top, very skinny brush. This one is for concealer, and you can use it under your eyes in targeted areas, etc. I love that word. This is the foundation brush. It has a nice domed top as well. This is for creams and powders and liquids. So something like this, just make sure that the brush says that it can be used for creams, powders, and liquids. A lot of products, you know, a lot of brushes, if they're not synthetic or if they're natural hair, you know, it might not work for certain products. Just look it up. It should say on Ulta. It makes it really easy of like, oh, this one is for cream and powder. Even Real Techniques is a great one. They always say, oh, this brush can be used for powders and creams or whatever. So just make sure to actually look at that before you use it, because sometimes that can affect how it goes on. Brushes, in my opinion, they do run the risk of leaving streaks. This one does not, but some brushes can leave streaks when you're applying foundation. Sponges, you can always use a sponge over top and get those brush streaks out. This one is a Beauty Blender sponge. You do not need to spend this much money on a Beauty Blender. Also go to TJ Maxx because they often have beauty blenders on sale. This one was on clearance for $8. So I did splurge and get this one, but I don't pay $20 for a sponge. I don't think you should either. Real Techniques has some great ones too, and they have ones at Marshall's as well on a discount, and you get like a 4-pack for the same price. So just keep your eyes out. But a sponge, when you wet it and you wring it out until all of the water is gone and it is just barely damp and it's like grown twice its size, then you can use it to blend out your foundation. Please don't go in with the dry sponge because then it will just soak up all your product. It won't work. It'll be too firm. It's not going to blend anything out. And that might be a problem when you go to blend makeup. If in fact it will be a problem. So I think the brush is more user-friendly. I think it's just easier to use the brush, and you save product because it won't eat up the product. The sponge will. So I would say maybe start with the brush, to be honest. But if you're a sponge person, go for it. You will learn your preferences very quickly. It is just one of those things that you will learn just because you'll start doing your makeup more and you'll be like, I like this better. You know, you'll learn. For me, I like the brush better. I just feel like it keeps your hands off of the product. It's just easy. Like, I like the dual-ended brush because I can go from foundation to concealer and in one swoop. We can sometimes blend the concealer into the foundation, etc. So, I mean, it's just kind of preference. Especially with skin tints. This one is going to have more of a liquidy texture. I would say a brush might be better for this so your sponge doesn't soak it all up. So I would definitely use a brush with this one, but I have used a sponge to kind of blend it out and it works fine. But yeah, this one is incredible. If you want to try a skin tint and you're a dry skin girly, this one is incredible. If you're just into that barely there makeup look as well, skin tints are great. So there are light coverage, medium coverage, and full coverage foundations. This one would be a light one, kind of buildable. You can kind of get it to medium coverage if you build the foundation. So that means just adding more product. But something like this is very like multiple use. You can use it as a very light coverage on just a barely there makeup day, and you can also build it up for a glam look, but it's not going to reach full coverage. If you want something a little bit more coverage, this one is one of my favorite foundations as well. This one is from About Face. This is the Performer Skin Focused Foundation. This one has a great price point too. It is at Ulta, and you can use points, which I love. I love Ulta. But this one is a doe foot applicator. If you hear people talk about that, it is this right here. So it basically looks like a little stick with a sponge on it, and you take the spongy end and you swipe it on your face or the back of your hand and then put the foundation on. I actually like putting it on the back of my hand first and then applying it with a brush onto my face, just because I feel like it's a little bit more hygienic that way for as someone with acne prone skin. But this one is a medium coverage foundation. So this one will cover things but not look like a mask. It will kind of even out your skin tone. It will cover some spots, but it will not look just like everything is just wiped away. Light coverage, you're going to still see spots, you're going to still see things, but it'll even out your skin. And then finally some full coverage foundation. That one will look like you are wearing foundation, usually. It will cover freckles, it will cover acne, it will cover other things. So it's just a matter of which one you're going for. I would say this one can be built up a little bit, but it's not going to reach like full coverage. But for the purposes of this starter pack video, I am not going to talk about full coverage options. Partially because of all of them are not drugstore. I feel like the luxury brands have drugstores beat when it comes to the full coverage foundation. Also because when you're just beginning with makeup, I don't think you necessarily need a full coverage foundation. I think the light coverage, medium coverages are much more user friendly. They're more beginner friendly in my opinion. If you want to jump into the deep end, go for it. Grab a full coverage foundation like the NARS ones. I have many videos talking about foundations, so go look those up if you want some other recommendations. But this one is more of your like luxury price tag. I wouldn't even say it's luxury price tag. It's just not drugstore. But this one is also a nice route to go on if you are like if you are a minimal makeup girl and you just want something easy, swipe and go. This is the Merit Complexion Stick, and if you want a foundation that is like a concealer, kind of, you can spot conceal, you can even out your skin tone, you can swipe it all over your face and blend it out. Honestly, it works for either one. I use this as a foundation, and I really enjoy it. I swipe it onto my skin and I buff it out with a brush, and it's phenomenal. You can build it very easily in targeted areas just by swiping on additional swipes. I love a product like this. It's very easy, very user-friendly. It's just, this is a product that is very hard to mess up. And it also has clean ingredients. This is a clean beauty brand at Sephora if you're interested in looking that up. I wouldn't say necessarily that all of your makeup has to be from Clean Beauty, but I like to buy Clean Beauty when I can. I just feel like a lot of the products that I've used have been really good for my skin. But yeah, that one is great. So that one is more of a medium coverage, light to medium. Those are some really great foundation options. Hopefully talking about that helps you. If you have any more questions, please ask me in the comments. I'm just kind of going with what I think people might ask as a beginner. But yeah, feel free to ask me anything. That's what I'm here for. All right, next step would be concealer. So remember I talked about eye cream first. Definitely do that because it gives a nice base for your makeup. I have 4 different concealers to talk about, but I'll try to be quick. So I have 2 liquid concealers to talk about. One is a lighter coverage, one is more full. I will say, beginning with makeup, a lighter coverage foundation and a full to medium coverage concealer is your best friend, because you can use the concealer to bulk up your coverage in certain areas, but you do not need the full coverage everywhere on your face. So like the holy grail is like right here. Full coverage Hourglass concealer with the skin tint from Wet n Wild. The price tag kind of balances out, obviously, but this one, if you want full coverage, this one is the way to go if you're gonna splurge. It blends effortlessly. You can dot on just a little bit, blend it out with the concealer end of your brush here or with your sponge, and it just blends like a dream. It has high coverage and it will cover your sins. It will cover your regrets, everything. The night before, I don't know, dark circles, whatever you got. Acne, it'll cover it. This one is so beautiful and radiant. Like, it's not glowy radiant, but like it makes your skin look really nice and plump and just it's great. I can't say enough good things about this. It has a very nice applicator to it, concealer. usually has this kind of doe foot applicator. This one's a little on the skinnier side. It deposits product beautifully onto the skin. There's not enough time in the world for me to talk about this concealer. I love it so much. But if you do not want the full coverage concealer, if you are just a clean makeup girly, you just want barely there, I just woke up like this kind of a look, and you don't have anything to cover, no dark circles, no nothing, and you just want a little brightness under your eyes and just some light coverage, but you want something there, this one is for you. So this is the Skin Silk Under Eye Brightener and Concealer from Revolution. And this one is in Fair Cool. This one has such a fun applicator. This one you don't find too often. This is a cooling metal applicator. So you'll see here, there's a little divot in here, and it has kind of like a pocket where all the product goes, and you can deposit that right onto your skin. And when you do gentle swiping motions underneath your eye, not in your eye, underneath your eye, it will depuff and cool. So it'll feel really good in the morning. That cool metal will depuff your eyes a little bit. Not anything crazy, but it feels good. This one is really like serum gel-like, which means it has a thinner consistency. This one is so good if you just want a little bit of brightening, a little bit of coverage, probably light coverage, and you can kind of build it up to almost medium, but I wouldn't even say it goes to medium. I would say it's more light in general. If you want any coverage, this one, splurge, it's worth it. But this one, there's a lot of people out there that just want kind of that, I just want my under eyes to look somewhat covered and just go out the door and just wear concealer. This one might be for you. It might. I really enjoy it. I like the brightness that it adds. But yeah, so those are some concealer options that are more in the liquids. Now, if you have acne, products like this are going to be your best friend. So you can do a lighter coverage concealer under your eyes and not put full coverage foundation everywhere on your face if you have acne. Surprise, surprise. You do not have to put full coverage everywhere. You can do a skin tint and then cover your acne with a spot concealer. Now, things are not called a spot concealer usually. I will show you what I mean by that. So usually they come in a pot like this or a stick like this. So this is the Pro Fix stick from NYX. These products are more emollient, but solid. So like the stick, you can either put your brush into this and then apply it to your spots directly, or you can put it on the spot directly just from the stick. I prefer to use a little brush that's targeted. So something like this, where it's a very, very, very small brush, where you can just tap it onto a blemish and add coverage in layers and not go crazy. Because if you add a bunch of layers to acne, it can look cakey, especially if it's not prepped properly. If you have really dry flakes around acne, that kind of just adding a full coverage something on top, probably not your best bet because it's gonna stand out. So spot concealing is definitely the way to go in my opinion. It just gives you the opportunity to target the blemishes specifically and kind of hide those and not have to put the coverage everywhere on your face and make it look cakey. Then this Pro Stick is great for touch-ups as well, but it's a nice affordable option if you want to try a spot concealer and not splurge. This one, however, I do think is splurge worthy. It will last you forever, and I am almost done with this, but it's been almost a year or more than a year, and this is where I am. I've used this so much. I still have plenty to go. I just repurchased one during the Sephora sale as a backup because I know I'm going to go through this, but this is probably going to take me like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months at least to go through. It, like, honestly, you do not need a lot of it at the same, like, this one can last forever. It's crazy. But this one is a very full coverage pot concealer, and it will target those blemishes. It lays beautifully over top of them. I have not had any problems with this at all. Just make sure that you go little by little and just target it specifically. I have videos on my YouTube channel that go over how to cover acne with makeup, and this is heavily used. So definitely go check that out if you want a tutorial on how I do that. These kind of thicker concealers are more for the spot concealing in my opinion. This is the drugstore option. This one's a little bit of a splurge. But honestly, oh my gosh, if you want one that really works for acne, you might want to splurge because this is so good. But testing out a product like this to see if you like that kind of product could work. This one is just more full coverage. It's easier to use in my opinion. This one is a great touch-up stick on the go if you need to cover your acne because your makeup has worn throughout the 12 hours or whatever that you've worn the makeup. But yeah, so those are good options. Next up is setting powder. So there are pressed powders and there are loose powders. The loose powder, in my opinion, is my go-to if I'm gonna recommend it to beginners. Now here's why. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but a pressed powder usually has the chance to really, if it's translucent and it's like a white powder, have flashback. It really might do that. Or if it has a color to it and you put the powder puff in there and you rub it too hard and you apply too much product, it could be overdone pretty easily. So I would recommend a loose powder, and these are the ones that I would recommend. If you want to splurge, get the mini Huda Beauty one because this will last you freaking forever. And if you want the drugstore, this one, honestly, they're pretty much similar packaging, very similar in product. This one does have slightly more of a luxurious look to it, but honestly, not by much. This one, you could actually go for this one, and for the money, you get so much more product in here. So I just wanted to give another option, but honestly, I would go with this one. These are both good for what you call baking. If you've seen any tutorials where people bake, that is basically just putting excess powder on top of the concealer and letting it sit there for a little bit, and then wiping the excess away after a few minutes. And it's supposed to really brighten the under eyes and really make sure that that concealer stuck there. I don't think you need to really do that. I've never baked and I've had a really good time with makeup. So, but what you want to do with a loose powder is, I know it's messy, I'm sorry, but you take your powder puff, and you can get them from Marshall's like this. This came in like a 10 pack for like, I don't know, $4. You take this, you can either go straight into here or you can pour it into the lid and then go into it. So you go in and you dab it on, and then you dab it on the back of your hand to get the excess off, and then press and roll, press and roll, press and roll into the spots where you're trying to set. So when you put concealer down, you're gonna want to set it with a powder, especially if it's more of a hydrating formula, because it can crease. And if you have fine lines under your eyes, creasing means that the pigment is potentially going to settle into your lines, and you don't really want to do that. But setting that concealer quickly after you do it will help it not settle into the lines. But if you do see it settling into the lines before you add your powder, pat gently and get that makeup out of the crease. So you can just use your pinky and just kind of roll over the crease, and that should get that all smoothed out, and then set it with powder so that it actually sets the concealer down, and then it won't crease anymore. You can also use loose setting powder all over your face with a brush if you want to set all of your face. I find that as a dry skin person, I do not need to set my entire face with powder. I just need to set my under eyes. But if you have oily skin, powder can be your best friend. It can take that shine away, and it can make certain spots on your face, especially your T-zone, less oily, and it will combat the oil throughout the day. But yeah, so powder is very important. You can get a pressed powder if you want, and it works very similarly, but I just think that it's much easier and saves on product to get the loose one. That's just my opinion, but you can try different things. If you want to splurge, this is absolutely the best one. This is the Tarte Creaseless Brightening Setting Powder. It's so, so good. It is a little on the expensive side for a powder. The Fit Me is cheaper, but boy, does this one, it really doesn't crease. This one is so finely milled. It's incredible. Yeah. But that is it for the complexion products. So let's go ahead and dive into some really fun ones, which are your blush and your highlighter and your bronzer. So if you've watched my videos, I do not use bronzer very often. I used to, but I don't really use it as much. Now, I loved that Lumi one. I'm not going to show it because I talk about it in every video. They discontinued it. And it makes me very sad because that one would be the one I'm showing you right now because it's easy to use and beautiful and such a great product. And I'm so upset with L'Oreal right now. But I don't really think that bronzer is something that everybody needs as a beginner in makeup. And the reason being, bronzer is there to just warm up the face. In my opinion, you can warm up the face with blush. Some people enjoy that like warm toned bronze look all over their face. For me, I am the shade of loose leaf paper. I do not need anything too warm all over my face. It just makes me look orange. I would go for more things that are on the neutral side, but for beginner, you don't really have to worry about that. If you do want to worry about bronzer, if you do find that your skin tone needs a little bronzing up, there are definitely options at the drugstore. Don't get me wrong. I would say try the Maybelline City Bronzer. It's not my favorite, but it still works and will work. Essence, I think, has a good bronzer. Milani has a cream bronzer that you could try if you really want to go that route. I would just say you might be okay without it, in my opinion. But there are tons of bronzer recommendations out there. Maybe this video is just not the one for them. I'm sorry. I would say go for a powder bronzer, not a cream, because powder or cream can be a little pigmented off the bat, and I don't think you really need that as a beginner, because then it might be hard to blend out. And yeah, but a powder, definitely like make sure you knock off the excess before you use it, because you don't want to just swipe on orange on your face. But that being said, that was a long-winded explanation of I don't really use bronzer, so let's move on. Next up is blush, and there are a ton of drugstore options that I love for blush. And I have 3 drugstore options, 1 in each formula to talk about, and these are all beginner friendly. So I have a powder, a cream, and a liquid. All of these are great for different things. You can use a liquid, like a liquid or a cream, and then set it with a powder if you want it to be extra long lasting throughout the day. Almost imagine your powder blush as a setting powder for your creams and liquids. You can definitely combine the two. I would say you don't technically need to do that because these products do have a good longevity on their own. If you want a hydrating product, the liquids and the creams are going to be for you. If you are oily skin, you probably would like the powder products just because you don't want to be adding any more oil to your skin. And throughout the day, your natural oils will come through, so you don't technically need the extra boost of hydration that these two offer. So this one is from Milani. This is the Luminoso. This is iconic. Everyone's been talking about it for years and years. This brings me back to 2016 makeup. This one is what you call a baked formula. As you can see, it's kind of raised, and it is a powder. It has like a lot of luminosity to it. This one is beautiful. Swirl your powder brush into here. So for blush, I would recommend using something like this. It is a smaller brush. It is not like a big poofy powder brush. It is a little bit more targeted. Elf, Real Techniques, a bunch of places have blush brushes, so definitely look into that if you'd like. But this one, you swirl it around in here, tap off the excess so that you're not just instantly applying a bunch of powder to your face, and then put this on the high points of your cheek, kind of moving down to like a little bit where the indent of your cheekbone is. I would say the higher positioning, the better for blush. The placement is everything, but as a beginner, try different placements out for your face shape and go from there. You will know where you think the blush looks good and where it doesn't. I would say don't necessarily just follow all the tutorials on TikTok of blush placement, because it might not be for you unless the person has your face shape. So test it out. Makeup you can remove if you don't think it looks good. So just test it out, see what you like. But this one is great for a beginner-friendly powder product, and it does have some added glow in there. So if you don't want a highlighter, you can use this as kind of a dual product. And if you don't want it to be like super beaming, then it just still gives some life to the skin without being a highlighter. So this one is a glowy product as well. This is the Juvia's Place Blush Cream Blush in Peach Please. And this one is probably the most beginner-friendly cream blush that I've ever used. This is so... how do I describe this? It's easy to blend out. It is so pigmented, but you can really buff it out if you add too much pigment. It's not like, oh my gosh, I added too much and now my face is ruined. it's hard to ruin, really. I would say for a cream blush, use something like this. This is a stippling brush. As you can see, the little hairs come off of it intentionally, but something like this is great for creams. This one is perfect for really like targeting where I want to put my blush. I don't go super crazy, but sometimes I like to blush contour. So sometimes I do actually go crazy. But this product is really simple to use, blends like a dream, has the pigment. If you have a darker skin tone, these blushes are going to be for you. You can get that pigment without adding a ton of product. That's just like, this one is so good. Lastly, for the blush, this one is a liquid, and this one's from Milani. This is their Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush and Glow. And this one is kind of like if you've seen the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Wands. It's kind of similar packaging to that. You squeeze the tube here and it comes out here. I don't want to squeeze it because it's going to shoot out. That's what she said. But this one, you like stamp the sponge end on, or you can put it onto the back of your hand and then use the brush to blend it. You still want to blend it out with a brush or a sponge, either way. But this one is going to be your very buildable blush. This is like, it's kind of more on the sheer side. The Juvia's Place is more pigmented off the bat. This one is more sheer. You can build and build and build and build. And it actually takes a lot of product to build it up to a high coverage. So if you want a more pigmented blush, this one or the powder, this one is like for that nice flush blush look. I would recommend this one, and it does still have a glow. So these are all really great. I love blush. I could talk about it forever, but hopefully that helps you pick out a blush product. And now let's move on to an also fun topic, which is highlighters. I have 3 different formulas to talk about today for highlighters. Similarly to the blush, we have a cream, we have kind of a putty, and then we have that kind of baked powder. This one is from ColourPop. This one is kind of a hybrid situation, so in between a cream and a powder. And this one looks squishy, and it feels squishy. It feels almost wet to the skin. This is very pigmented, and it's very glittery for this shade. They don't all have glitter in them, but this particular shade has glitter. Highlighter is one of those things that you can go overboard real quick. So this one, I would say add a little bit, blend it out, and then see where you are. This one, here's the glitter. See, you can see it's a very sparkly formula. I am a very sparkly girl. I like my cheeks to be beaming. I love that look. I love how like juicy and shiny and glassy highlighter makes my skin. You can skip this step if you don't want that. Just a heads up. But this one is like, if you want glam, you want glitter, you want like something really fun. So nice. You can pat this on with your fingers. That's what I prefer when I use something like this. I just feel like your finger applies this to your cheeks better than a brush does. But you can use a brush. It might just take some finagling. It might not pick up on your brush, depending on the brush that you use. But if you want to use a brush, here you go. This one is incredible. This is the NYX Buttermelt Highlighter, and wow, this is beaming. But you don't have to make it beaming. It kind of gives you the choice. So you can add a little bit, and it's just a beautiful highlighter, and it melts into the skin beautifully, and there's no harsh lines. It's a very foolproof formula. So good. This shade is awesome too. I love it. It looks so natural on my skin. Doesn't leave a cast. I have seen like this shade works on pretty much everybody. So this is the Bright and Butter shade. This one is so good. I would apply highlighter with a brush that's like this. This one is a little bit bigger. I like to put the highlighter not just on like the very tip top of my cheekbone. I like to blend it into the blush, and that's why I like a bigger brush like that. You can use a more targeted brush like this. It's a little smaller, but same shape. Other ones look like this, where it's a little bit more pointy. It just depends. This one's going to give you like that targeted beaming look, and something that's a little bit more diffused like this is going to make it a little softer. Powder is great for beginners because I've found that like the cream highlighter, at least for the ColourPop one, is a little bit more like you have to get used to how to apply it. but the powders, especially this one, you can give it one swipe and it's like a natural, beautiful highlighter, and then you can really build it up and it's beaming. This one, this cream highlighter came out of left field and really just stole my heart though. If you're a no makeup girl and you just want that glass skin look, Lumi La Glace. This is in shade Glassy Pearl. This is what it looks like. I would say the best way to apply this, in my opinion, you take it, you put it on your hand and swipe back and forth until it is nice and warmed up. You see a lot of product has come on your hand right here. So you can then take this and put it directly on your cheek and swipe it on your cheekbones and then pat it out with your finger or use your brush. Or you can take your brush or your finger and then your finger or whatever you choose and go from here and apply it. Now the reason I say to do that is because you want to use the warmth of your skin to heat up this product before you apply it. Because if you don't, it will remove foundation. It will remove the blush and foundation that you've worked so hard to put there. If you don't warm it up properly. That is the one caveat to these kind of liquid products, is if you don't warm them up properly, like the ones in a stick form, it'll remove product from your cheek. Now, the cream blush and stuff, that doesn't have that problem. If it's a cream like that, it's okay. But if it's like a hard stick like this, you need to warm it up. But, oh my gosh, does it give just a beautiful dewy look to the skin. It just makes my skin look like I just like put skincare on. Like, it's a beautiful sheen. I love it. It is beginner friendly if you remember that rule. And also, this is great. If you don't really wear foundation, that's possible. Some people can get away with that. I just can't. If you don't wear foundation and you just want a glassy skin look, this is beautiful on its own. It just makes your skin look like you did a 10-step skincare routine, but you didn't. The next thing that I would do would be eyeshadow. So I have a few eyeshadow options to talk about, and these, I am not going to swatch all of them, okay? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go through these as quick as possible. If you want a video where I'm just talking about eyeshadow in general, I can make that for you, but I don't want to spend an hour doing that today. It's late. Okay, so if you are a beginner, I would say the best route to go is to either get a nice affordable palette that has a mix of shimmers and mattes that you think you will use, or to go the other route, which is to go all matte and then have single shadows for your shimmers. Even if you're just starting out in makeup, you do not need a giant palette with all the shades. Honestly, start out with a 9-pan palette and go from there if you want like your shimmers and mattes together, or go with an all matte small palette and do your shimmers separately. If you want to go the I want just an eyeshadow palette with everything that I need in it route, I would recommend these two products here. Now, color story is going to be very specific to you and your liking. I would say that these are really great options because if you have a warmer skin tone, you might like something that's a little bit more warm leaning. This is more on the pink side. There are warm toned neutrals as well in this kind of packaging. So I will pop up the others right here from LA Girl. LA Girl has an incredible formula. The mattes are easy to blend. They are pigmented right off the bat, but not too pigmented where you can't blend them out. I would say when you're doing your eyeshadow, make sure that you start with your darker shade first on the outer corner of your eye if you want like high impact and drama. I would start with your darkest shade and do just the outer corner, the outer V, and I will post a picture of that here, and then add your middle shade and blend it out, and then the lightest shade after. You can also start with a transition shade and then add the darkest one if you would like. If you're going to do a light, easy eyeshadow makeup, like I would just say use this middle shade and then do any shimmer. Like there's so much you could do with a palette like this. It's just so good. And this is a really sparkly metallic shade that's really beautiful. And then these are more topper shades. So this one would be like if you really just wanted easy to just do one of these two light shades and just pop a topper on. It would be super easy, super beautiful. If you wanted to go more glam, you could go deep and then you can use this beautiful metallic here. You have options. The formulas are great. The packaging on this is actually really great for being so affordable. And then this one is from ColourPop. This is the, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, this is the LA Girl Keep It Playful eye palette in the shade Playmate. This one is from ColourPop, and this is the That's Taupe palette. This one is still available at Ulta, even though the one I'm holding right now is years and years old. This one is a great option, again, if you want shimmers and mattes. This one does lean a little bit more heavy on the matte side, but for good reason. You don't really need a lot of other mattes. This has a nice like light to deep in here, and then has some light to deep shimmers. This one is a Super Shock shade in the palette, which is great. Super Shock shadows from ColourPop are incredible, especially for beginners, but this palette has all you can need for a cool toned neutral eye look. And ColourPop has some really affordable products for eyeshadow palettes that have every color story you could imagine. So ColourPop definitely would be one that I would say if you're a beginner, definitely try it out. Some of the newer palettes can be hit or miss, but if you get something that's like a staple palette, not something that's limited edition, I have had more luck with those. ColourPop has been a tried and true for me over the years. This one has been one that's made it through all the declutters though, no matter what my makeup taste has been. Cool tone neutrals are a go-to for me, and this is a great one. So this is the eyeshadow palette route with shimmers and mattes, but if you want to go the, I don't really ever wear eyeshadow for a glam purpose, I just need something to wear to work, I will use one shimmer shade and that's it, and I just have like the same eye look and I go to that every single day. If I just described you, this is what you do. You get an all matte palette, whether it's from ColourPop, whether it's from wherever, and then you add shimmers separately. This is from Natasha Denona. This is the Sculpt palette, the Mini Eye Sculpt palette. Now, I'm not saying this is the only all matte palette ever that can be good. I'm just saying for the price point, this is a nice, affordable way of trying Natasha Denona, which is my favorite eyeshadow brand, and has incredible longevity, has every neutral that you could possibly want in here. It has neutral vibes, so it's not too cool toned and not too warm. If you are a person that will just reach into the same shadows over and over again, this is so good, but you still have options to glam it up if you want. So I would say then you can use this shade as a transition shade if you're fair to light. This one is a transition shade if you have deeper skin tone, and you can deepen it up or you can lighten it up from there. Once you have your matte eyeshadow look, you take a nice, beautiful shimmer shade and you put it on top. So I'm going to put that back there. You have a bunch of different options. So this one is more of your cream powder hybrid. This one is a cream shadow stick. This one is a powder kind of shadow. This is the Urban Decay Moon Dust. This is a little bit of a splurge. You do not have to do this. I just wanted to recommend it if you are that kind of person that needs something that's going to last on your lid all day long. You have a long work day. This one is a 24-hour wear shadow, so this is great, and it is just easy to pop on and be beautiful. I love it. If you want an easy swipe and go situation that has a super high impact and glittery, 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 this one is incredible. This is the Half Magic Sparkle Eye Sparkle Stick. This is in the shade Beige Mystique. This is so gorgeous, and it is easy to swipe on and just immediately packs a pigment punch. See how foiled and metallic that is? I mean, wow. Now, because they're single shadows, I guess I'll swatch them for you. This one is if you want budge proof. This will dry down. Like right now, you can still work with it and kind of blend it out. You have a little bit of time to do that. But once this is set, it doesn't go anywhere. So if you want longevity, I would say do the eyeshadow stick route. If you are like a glam on the go kind of girl, swatch this one for you real quick. This is the Moon Dust from Urban Decay, just so you can see how these compare to each other. Okay, there we go. So that's the Urban Decay. It has a base color, which I also like, because sometimes just a transparent glitter, you know, it's nice, but like sometimes you want a little added color to it. This one is shade Frog from ColourPop, and this one is my all-time favorite shade. It's so beautiful, and it has almost a wet texture, kind of like the highlighter did. It has so much glitter in there that I love it. Ugh, it is so pretty. This is kind of a champagne, but it has a slightly pink undertone and it has some blue and pink reflect in there. So if you want a fun color, honestly, I would say either the Super Shocks or the Dazzle or the Sparkle Sticks. Dazzle Stick from KVD is also really good. But ColourPop for your more affordable option, and if you're just getting into makeup, definitely try this and then branch out. ColourPop has a bunch of different shades, especially on their website. Ulta has a bunch of them also, but if you want like really crazy fun colors, I would say go to their website and look. These are super affordable. They last on the eyelid. I would put a eyeshadow base down or put concealer on the lid when you're going to use something like really sparkly and glittery like this. This one, you can kind of get away with using it on its own because it's a hybrid. It's not super, super powdery. But if you're going to use a powder shimmer like from a palette, I would say use an eye base or a concealer regardless, just so you don't have too much fallout. This one is so, so good. These obviously don't require any kind of priming the lid at all. They're just good to go. I would also say use a primer or a concealer underneath for the Moon Dust shadow as well, just to prevent any fallout. But those are the eyeshadow picks that I would say if you're a beginner. Mascara. Mascara is one of those things that I would say buy minis and try them out. Try different formulas. I don't know what your lashes are. I don't know if you have sparse lashes, thick lashes, if you have curly lashes, if you have straight lashes. There's so much to go through with mascara, and they're so personal to everybody that I don't think I could just like give a full description here. So try minis. That is my best advice for mascara. And if you have sensitive eyes, look in your reviews for sensitive skin mascaras. Also, like, look for best mascaras for contact wearers, because I'm a contact wearer and a lot of mascaras will eventually flake on me and they'll get in my contact and I'll hate my life. You don't want that. Sometimes older mascaras in general can flake too. I have had an issue finding ones that don't flake at all, honestly. But I will say the best one would be this one. This is the Ilia. The only downside is that this is not waterproof. I don't use waterproof mascara in general because it's too hard to take off and I don't want to destroy my lashes. But this one is not waterproof, but it lasts a really long time on my eyes. I will say if it's really, really humid and my lower lashes, like sometimes you get a little bit of like the black underneath the eye after a really long time wearing this, but I can concede to that because it's safe for contact lens wearers. This one has not flaked on me. This one is beautiful. It makes my lashes look great and doesn't hurt my eyes at all and doesn't flake. So I will put up with a little bit of like having to clean up the outer edges of my eye after 8-9 hours of wearing this for that reason. If you want a drugstore option, this one is the fullest mascara, so this is also a volumizing mascara. It's not lengthening, really, it's more volumizing. So this is a drugstore alternative. This is one of the ones that I've really enjoyed. This is the e.l.f. Lash Extender, and this one is more lengthening than full, volumizing, I guess is the word. But this one, they're really nice. The brushes on mascaras are also important to look at. They all do different things. I cannot get into all of that in one video, but I will say that just look up brushes. Like something thin like this is going to be really great for like picking up all of your lashes and lengthening and really getting in there. And especially for lower lash line, that thin brush is going to be really nice. Your volumizing mascaras are going to have more of this hourglass shape normally. It really helps kind of like lift and curl and get it really full at the bottom. So yeah, there's so much to talk about with mascaras. Those are the two I'm going to leave you with today. But yeah, if you want an in-depth thing about mascaras, I guess I can do it, but I rotate mascaras so frequently that I don't know if it would be a benefit to you. I don't know. Eyebrow products. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to do that. So I am a really bad person when it comes to eyebrows. I only use one product. So I might not be the best person to turn to. If I need any kind of other product for my brows, it's usually going to be a brow powder. And I don't recommend getting a brow powder because you can use eyeshadow. If you have a really big matte palette, like one like this is from Viseart, you can have brow shades, at least like pretty much everyone's probably brow shade is in here somewhere. Or like by mixing it, you could probably get your perfect shade. This is something that's really great to have as a beginner. This particular brand is expensive, but This is something that's like a nice multi-use product. You can use it as an eyeshadow palette, and you can also use it as a brow powder. So if I'm not using a brow powder, I'm using this. This is from NYX, and this is their micro brow pencil in the shade Taupe. It has the brow thing on this side, and you just pop it into your brows. You draw hair-like strokes. You can also fill in your brows if you need to, and then it has a nice spoolie on the end. I have used this for years, and I pretty much haven't used anything else. So I am not the girl to come to for a 5-step brow routine. That's just not me. But I love it. Definitely get that one if you like the micro brow pencil vibe. I like it to be a smaller one, just so it can be a multi-use. Like, I can fill in my brows, and I can also draw hair-like strokes if I need to. Okay. I feel like I've been rambling and rambling. All right, so setting spray. I would say this is a real quick one. Get a mini of the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I don't even have any other recommendations for setting spray, to be honest. A mini is the way to go. If they have a mini of the glowy one, if you're dry skin, go with the glowy one. If you're not, go with this one. It sets your makeup forever, and it really works. That's all I gotta say. It's really good. Last but not least is lips. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say, get e.l.f. Just e.l.f. lip products for beginners. Ooh, for beginners are the best. So I have 4 different products for you. I have a lip liner from the e.l.f. Retro Paradise collection, but they have others that are not. This is a discontinued one, but they have other ones, and they're like regular. I'm gonna show you. So this is what their regular ones look like, the Cream Glide lip liners. This one is in, I can't even read it, Spill the Tea. And yeah, their cream gel lip liners are really, really good. They last on the lips. They're not the most long wearing, but they're good. And they're great for newbies to try it out. Lipsticks. They also have nice lipsticks. This one is in No Doubt, and it feels very luxurious. And honestly, I don't think you need to splurge on lipsticks when you're a beginner in makeup. Use a lip liner to outline your lips. Use a shade that's slightly darker than the lipstick that you want to kind of give a lip contour. Use the lipstick. Keep the lipstick in your purse to reapply. You're golden. If you're not a lipstick girl, there's a lip stain. This one is a glossy lip stain from e.l.f. and it is in shade Pinkies Up. This one, you swipe it on your lips and it will stain your lips all day. And it also has a little bit of a glossy vibe to it. So it'll make your lips look like you just put on a gloss, but it'll also stain your lips. And then if you put on a stain underneath a lipstick, you won't need to reapply the lipstick as much because your lips will be stained underneath. It'll make it wear better throughout the day. So that's also a fun trick. And last but not least, a lip oil. Here you go. This is the e.l.f. Divine Wine Glimmer Glow Reviver Lip Oil. And so good. Beautiful colors, beautiful shine. They have glimmer ones. They have regular ones without sparkle. Whatever you want. This is hydrating. It's like lightweight on the lips, not sticky. It's beautiful. If you want a gloss, get the Tower 28 one. I have talked at length about this lip gloss in all of my recommendation videos, and Tower 28 has my heart. It is the perfect non-sticky gloss. It is a hybrid lip gloss and oil, so they call it a lip jelly. It is so beautiful. It makes the lips look gorgeous. They have all the different shades. I love it so much. It makes your lip gloss stays on your lips a long time, which is something that I look for. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of drugstore options to recommend, but that lip gloss is truly the best. So that's all I really got. But I think that is everything. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope this helps you. If you're a makeup beginner, I hope this at least gives you a nice starting point of like what products you may want. Of course, you do not need every single product that I'm saying. I just wanted to give you an idea of what is good for different things. You can get away with, honestly, you can get away with just a skin tint, a mascara, maybe a primer. Say do a blush lighter situation, so that's blush and highlighter. One of these, and the matte eyeshadow. You can get away with those things right there. If you don't want like high coverage full concealer, you can do that. If you want more full coverage, you can swap it out and just do the more full coverage one and do the more full coverage concealer in there. There's so many different ways that you can do this. I would say maybe a setting powder if you have like creases under your eyes, but not everyone needs to set it with powder. But there are just different ways of mixing and matching, and you'll find what works best for you. But this is just kind of like a starting point for you, and I hope it helped. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this kind of video, please let me know. If you have any other questions, I will definitely be answering them in the comments. Let me know your recommendations if someone is going to be starting makeup for the first time. Let me know, and yeah, hopefully people can find this helpful. I love talking about makeup. Hope you're having an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!